Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Forest at Duke trivia session. Today we have a patriotic / American themed trivia for you all in honor of Veterans Day. There will be 20 questions for today's trivia, mostly multiple choice, a few true or false. So if you want to go ahead and get a pencil and some paper ready, we will get started. Just to clarify, this is just for fun. We won't be collecting answer sheets today, and here we go. Question number 1. How many people signed the Declaration of Independence? Was it A, 13, B, 26, C, 52, or D, 56? Question 2. Where was the Declaration adopted and signed? The Declaration of Independence, where was it adopted and signed? Was it A, Philadelphia, B, Boston, C, New York, or D, Washington, D.C.? Question number 3. Who was the first president to live in the White House? Was it A, John Adams, B, Thomas Jefferson, C, George Washington, or D, James Madison? Question 4. What do the colors of the American flag symbolize? Is it A, nothing? The founding fathers simply found those colors aesthetically pleasing. Was it B, red meaning hardiness, white meaning purity, and blue meaning perseverance? Was it C, red meaning compassion, white meaning peace and unity, and blue meaning remembrance? Or was it D, red meaning revolution, white meaning stability, and blue meaning integrity? Question 5. In what year was Veterans Day, or originally Armistice Day, made a legal holiday? Was it A, 1929, B, 1935, C, 1938, or D, 1942? Question 6. What president signed the bill that changed the name from Armistice Day to Veterans Day? Was it A, Woodrow Wilson, B, Dwight D. Eisenhower, or C, John F. Kennedy, or D, Theodore Roosevelt? Question 7. Calvin Coolidge was the only U.S. president born on the 4th of July. 3 presidents, however, died on that day. Who were they? Was it A, George Washington, Chester Arthur, and James Monroe? Was it B, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson and Richard Nixon? Was it C, Zachary Taylor, Martin Van Buren, and Warren Harding? Or was it D, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Monroe? Question 8. Where was the first 4th of July fireworks display held? Was it A, Washington, D.C., B, New York, New York, C, Boston, Massachusetts, or D, Atlanta, Georgia? Question 9. The U.S. flag is flown 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, by either presidential proclamation or law at all of the following places, except A, the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C., B, the U.S. Marine Corps Memorial in Arlington, Virginia, C, the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C., or D, the White House in Washington, D.C.? Question 10. 2014 marked the 200th birthday of A, the Lincoln Memorial, B, the Smithsonian Institution, C, the Star-Spangled Banner, or D, the American flag? Question 11. Who was the founder of the American Red Cross? Was it A, Florence Nightingale, B, Elizabeth Blackwell, C, Clara Barton, or D, Gertrude Elion? Question 12. What treaty ended the War of the American Revolution? Was it A, the Camp David Accord, B, the Treaty of Versailles, C, the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, or D, the Treaty of Paris? Question 13. What intellectual movement is associated with the American Revolution? Is it A, the Enlightenment, B, Neoplatonism, C, Dadaism, or D, the Renaissance? Question 14. True or false? The Coast Guard is smaller than the New York City Police Department. True or false? Question 15. In what year did the Washington Monument officially open? Was it A, 1848, B, 1878, C, 1884, or D, 1888? Question 16. How many U.S. presidents have served in the military? Is it A, 22, B, 31, C, 36, or D, 40? Question 17. All of the following are closed on Veterans Day except A, post offices, B, schools, C, U.S. district courts, or D, state parks. Question 18. Another true or false. Before the Air Force became its own military branch, it was part of what? It was part of the Army. True or false? Before the Air Force became its own military branch, it was part of the Army. Question 19. What breed of dog is the Marine Corps' mascot? Is it A, a Dalmatian, B, a Labrador, C, an English Bulldog, or D, a Great Pyrenees? Question 20. When is the Marine Corps birthday observed? Is it A, October 15th, B, November 10th, C, January 4th, or D, May 21st? All right, now it's time to see how everybody did. It is time for the answers. Question 1. How many people signed the Declaration of Independence? And the answer was D, 56. The Declaration of Independence was signed by 56 people. The handwritten copy of the Declaration that was signed by Congress is dated July 4th, 1776. The signatures of 56 delegates are affixed. However, the exact date when each of those people signed had long been a subject of debate. Question 2. Where was the Declaration adopted and signed? And the answer was A, Philadelphia. Philadelphia played an instrumental role in the American Revolution as a meeting place for the founding fathers of the United States. Question 3. Who was the first president to live in the White House? And the answer was A, John Adams. John Adams took up residence in the White House on November 1st, 1800. In the first few days of his residency, he wrote a letter to his wife, Abigail, containing this prayer: I pray heaven to bestow the best of blessings on this house and all that shall hereby inhabit it. May none but honest and wise men ever rule under this roof. Question 4. what do the colors of the American flag symbolize? And the answer was B, red meaning hardiness, white meaning purity, and blue meaning perseverance. The full symbolism of the flag colors are as follows. Red symbolizes both hardiness and valor. White symbolizes purity and innocence, and blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Question 5. In what year was Veterans Day, or originally Armistice Day, made a legal holiday? And that was C, in 1938. An act approved May 13, 1938, made the 11th of November each year a legal holiday. It was a day to be dedicated to the cause of world peace and to be thereby celebrated and known as Armistice Day. At the urging of major U.S. veteran organizations, Armistice Day was renamed Veterans Day in 1954. Question 6. What president signed the bill that changed the name from Armistice Day to Veterans Day? And the answer was B, Dwight D. Eisenhower. Veterans lobbied Congress to make this change in order to honor veterans of every war. Question 7. Calvin Coolidge was the only U.S. president born on the 4th of July. 3 presidents, however, died on that day. Who were they? And the answer was D, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Monroe. Former presidents Thomas Jefferson and John Adams were the last surviving members of the original signers of the Declaration of Independence. On July 4th, 1826, they both passed away within hours of each other. And interestingly enough, on July 4th, 1826 was also the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Former President James Monroe died on July 4th, 1831. Question 8. Where was the first 4th of July fireworks display held? And the answer was C, in Boston, Massachusetts. It was celebrated Boston, Massachusetts on July 4th, 1777. Question 9. The U.S. flag is flown 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, by either presidential proclamation or law at all of the following places except, and the answer was C, the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. There are actually a total of 8 locations where the flag must be flown 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The others not mentioned include the Flag House Square, the Fort McHenry National Monument, on the green of the town of Lexington, Massachusetts, the United States Customs ports of entry, and the grounds of the National Memorial Ark in Valley Forge State Park. Question 10. 2014 marked the 200th birthday of, and the answer was C, the Star-Spangled Banner. Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner in 1814. Although it was quite popular throughout the 19th century, it was not officially adopted as the national anthem until March 3, 1931, in a law signed by President Herbert Hoover. Question 11. Who was the founder of the American Red Cross? And the answer is C, Clara Barton. Clarissa Barton was a pioneering American nurse who founded the American Red Cross. She was a hospital nurse in the American Civil War, a teacher, and a patent clerk. Barton is noteworthy for doing humanitarian work and civil rights advocacy. She was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame in 1973. Question 12. What treaty ended the War of the American Revolution? And the answer was D, the Treaty of Paris. The Treaty of Paris was signed by U.S. and British representatives on September 3, 1783, and it ended the War of the American Revolution. Based on an earlier 1782 treaty, the agreement recognized U.S. independence and granted the U.S. significant Western territory. Question 13. What intellectual movement is associated with the American Revolution? And the answer is A, the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment was a philosophical movement that dominated in Europe during the 18th century. It was centered around the idea that reason is the primary source of authority and legitimacy, and advocated such ideals as liberty, progress, tolerance, fraternity, constitutional government, and separation of church and state. Question 14 was a true or false question. The Coast Guard is smaller than the New York City Police Department, and that is true. Comprised of nearly 42,000 extraordinary men and women, the Coast Guard is a unique branch of the military responsible for saving lives, protecting the environment, and defending America's coastlines and waterways. Question 15. In what year did the Washington Monument officially open? And the answer is D, in 1888. Construction on the monument began in 1848 and was halted for a period of 23 years, from 1854 to 1877. The completed monument was dedicated on February 21st, 1885, and was officially opened on October 9th, 1888. Question 16. How many U.S. presidents have served in the military? And the answer is B, 31 U.S. presidents. Out of all of our presidents, the only one to receive a Medal of Honor was Theodore Roosevelt. Question 17. All of the following are closed on Veterans Day, except, and the answer was A, the state parks. National parks across the U.S. are open and won't be charging admissions on Veterans Day. Question 18 was the other true or false question. Before the Air Force became its own military branch, it was part of the Army. And that was true. On August 1st, 1907, the U.S. Army Signal Corps formed the Aeronautical Division, which later evolved into the Air Force. Question 19. What breed of dog is the Marine Corps mascot? And the answer is C, an English bulldog. The mascot is named after Marine Lieutenant General Louis B. Chesty Puller, the only Marine to earn 5 Navy Crosses. And there's a picture here of the Marine mascot. He's Chesty the Bulldog. He's also wearing his uniform. And our last question, question 20, when is the Marine Corps birthday observed? And the answer is B, on November 10th. It was created on November 10th, 1921 by the U.S. government to show appreciation for the United States Marines. Having taken part in nearly every U.S. conflict, the Marine Corps has defended our country since America's inception. And that sums up our trivia for today. We thank you for playing and for testing your historical knowledge. Happy Veterans Day to everyone, and thank you to all those veterans here at the Forest. Have a great afternoon.